Today I've got some bad news about stroke recovery. And it's simply this. Stroke affects both sides of the body. Even the most basic study of the human brain, spinal cord and nerves tells us the thing that the one-sided stroke is based on. That the nerves that are about movement start in one side of the brain, cross over when they're coming down the spinal cord, and control and work muscles in the opposite side of the body. But the same basic study shows us that nerves that start, in this case, in the left side of somebody's brain, come into the spinal cord and come out on the same side. Some of them cross over, cross back again without seeming to connect, and end up in the same side. So what we can tell from that is that actually it's an awful lot more complicated than its first explanation. Left-sided stroke in the brain producing right-sided obvious loss of movement. So the bad news is that the stroke has affected both sides of your body. And many of you who are helping someone with stroke, and many of you who've experienced stroke, will be going, but that can't be right. Look, this side of me works, and that side doesn't work, or doesn't work very well. But it does show up in much more subtle ways. So my view is that the stroke affects both sides of the body. On the one side, the effects are startlingly obvious. On the other side, the effects are just much more subtle. And I'll often see it, for example, when somebody is looking for a brake on a wheelchair. And they reach down, because they know it's down there somewhere, but they just can't find it quickly. Now on this chair, I'm on an ordinary office chair, there's a little up-down lever which many will be familiar with, and it's quite a while since I had a go at it. It's probably 20 minutes, because this film's shot in several takes. So, but I can quickly find the lever that did that and drop me down, and I don't have to feel around. My body's made a little map, my brain has made a little map, and I can quickly find that lever, and I can equally do it to bring myself back up. If I have a go at a shirt button, these are very small buttons. I can unbutton the shirt pretty easily. I can find it easily. And then, without too much ado, I can do the button up again. Now actually, this is my wrong hand for doing shirt buttons. Usually I'd use this one. So it can be quickly learned in an undamaged nervous system. Mine is thankfully undamaged. But these challenges are not so easily met after stroke. The good news about the bad news is that the so-called unaffected arm and leg can be treated much more easily. You do have lots of control. You do have lots of activity. It's just that the coordination, the spatial and distance and judgment elements of movement are probably the ones that are damaged. So you can work on that as long as you know that there's a subtle problem there. So exercises involving both sides of the body are very, very key. Simple things like standing up. When you go to stand up, do you really control the level of effort in your unaffected side? Probably not very effectively. So have a look for these things. Ask your physiotherapist to help you, and In another video, we'll cover some of these sorts of ideas in a little bit more detail. But just to re-emphasize, the good news about the bad news is that it's very, very treatable. But if you forget or don't know about treating it, then you're not going to make the very best that you could do if you knew what the problem was. Thanks for watching. Do please like and subscribe. That'll help you pick up on more videos in the future, and some of them will deal in a little bit more depth with the elements that I've talked about today.